Peter, I wanted to ask you one. You started the show on Fox Sports 1, just setting the scene for media night, and then they came back to the studio. And when they returned to you, you were standing there with Saquon Barkley. It was the first interview that we saw on the show that we saw on Fox. Peter, Saquon Barkley, to my eye, just watching on TV, seemed not the joyful specimen that we have seen maybe in playing these home games in Philadelphia and celebrating the NFC title. What was he like last night in this sea of exposure for Saquon Barkley?
Yeah, you picture Saquon, you think of him running in the snow and slapping his helmet and yelling. Yeah, that isn't the dynamic of Saquon last night. And it's not really the dynamic of Saquon off the field. Great young man, obviously, very composed, very calm. But, I tried. I went to the Giants thing. Yeah. He wasn't entertaining it. There was a fan who said, do you have a message to Giants fans? It went viral in New York because he's like, I still have a lot of love for you guys. I still have a lot of feel for you. He is locked in. And Kyle made the point, I guess, last week. Saquon's never won at Pop Warner. He's never won at high school. He's never won in college. And this is the furthest he's ever gotten in an NFL season. He truly feels locked in right now. I asked him, I said, Earl Campbell, Barry Sanders, LaDainian Tomlinson, these guys never got to a Super Bowl. Do you have a second to even acknowledge just how far you've been? He's like, I never look at it that way. I am more concerned about coming home with the Lombardi, and then we can look back on it after that job is done. So he's not really enjoying the moment like we would expect maybe if he's looking around and thinking, wow, I was playing in front of an empty Giant stadium last year, and look at this now. He's not in that mind frame, Jamie. He is dialed in and ready to tear up those Chiefs.
So cool to hear.
So if anybody didn't see it, there's when they're sitting up on their own little booth where everyone surrounds them. And then there's this other part where all the team captains and the head coaches come up on these risers, and the Chiefs are over here and the Eagles are over here. Peter, I got to tell you, man, I'm just going to be candid. I thought you did God's work. You had huge energy. You had a smile on your face. Those players and those coaches gave you nothing. They're up there some of them look bored out of their mind. Some of them look like they're being held there against their will. So give me some more behind the scenes, because I'm seeing you talk to Sirianni and Andy, who are totally professional and kind, of course, but they say nothing. They barely even any sense of personality at all. So at least give us something about when the camera stopped, because I'm watching. I want to go through the screen and help you out, Peter. You're doing all you can, and they give you nothing.
Kyle, you've been there when you're just like, hey. But I'll tell you, there is a certain dynamic because you've got guys on the Eagles, Mailata, who's a friend of the show, big hug. Brandon Graham, friend of the show, big hug. Didn't go to the Chiefs guys. I know those guys. And everybody's kind of sizing up the opponent, and there's respect. But this isn't off-season or Pro Bowl feel. It is very different. The two teams come together, and it is it's not UFC. We're doing the weigh-in here, but there is a sizing up of the opponent, and then neither one of those sides was being all jovial and ha-ha, fun with the two teams. It was, you're on your side, we're on our side. We'll see you guys Sunday.
And Peter, there's something else that I noticed, too, especially on their opening intro, and noticing the players are just kind of watching the mannerisms. And I wanted to see if you saw that or what you picked up from the vibe. But I saw that the Eagles, when they were coming out, you saw a lot more of the players holding the cameras with their phone and kind of taking it all in. And when I watched the Kansas City Chiefs, they walked in been there, done that. We're good. We're good. We're past all of that. Did you notice that maybe more tenseness, maybe more excitement, and just kind of what is all of this from the Eagles versus the Chiefs?
Different dynamic. Eagles, Howie Roseman comes and leads them out. They were all business, and it was, there were some video cameras, but it wasn't silly season. Chiefs, I'm going to tell you, was super laid back. They had their band come out beforehand, and they just kind of walked on stage, and it almost was like, oh, the Chiefs are out here. And you could tell. I mean, Darius Slay, to your point, Kyle, I love Slay, and he's been in big games. Scott Hanson speaking with the teams, and Darius Slay's checking his phone. These guys want to get down there. They're done. They're done. They want to go talk football. They're not looking to make this a Benita Bonanza. So that's not an insult to Scott Hanson. He was doing God's work also. But a lot of these players, this is not what they're here for. They're here for football, and they cannot wait to hit the opponent.